the CSIR's Information and Cybersecurity Center. She holds a PhD from the University of Cape Town and has published widely in areas such as cyber governance and web technologies, passionate about youth development and the future of science, and performing her first Fard Hajj this year. Dr. Zubeida, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to Radio Islam International.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for having me.
As I can perceive from the background, very bustling. There's a great buzz this afternoon. We are in the final moments of the day of Tarwiyah, or the final moments of this particular day leading up to Maghrib. I would assume Maghrib in perhaps less than 15 minutes' time.
Yeah, so we're about, I think 45 minutes actually away from Maghrib. So we're all just maximizing our time, going through our du'as, making the most of the moment here.
Tell us about you've had travel companions, you've had people who have accompanied you on this journey through the Medina leg, I would assume, and through Makkah al Mukarramah. But in the tents at this moment in time, was it also a kind of icebreaker? You've got new companions, you've got new people who would now be really with you during the crux, during the core of these 5 days of Hajj.
Yeah, so actually I've just traveled alone with my husband. So we didn't have, family, friends or anybody with us. It was just the two of us. And of course we're not always together, especially when praying and so on. But I've met so many wonderful people here. Everybody is just in the spirit of giving and showing kindness to each other. Even at the tent in Mina, I see between the ladies, everybody is distributing snacks, seeing what one another needs. Even elderly folk are caring for the younger are taking care of the elderly. So I think the spirit of togetherness is definitely here, and I've made so many wonderful new companions, and it's just been overwhelming.
Well, what about the meaning of Mina? There would be the hadith, and there would be generally the feeling that Arafah is Hajj. There would be more value or more significance associated when there are physical rituals involved. A person would be throwing a stone, or a person would be camping out in the open. There's something very tangible about those acts of worship. But when it comes to a day like this in Mina, where you literally just sitting in the tent doing your regular ibadah, how would you infuse significance from your side into a day that seemingly on the outside is not too eventful?
So I think for every little piece of Hajj, and that's the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it. So Mina is, much needed for us to share those bonds with our sisters, for us to get a little bit of rest and to just prepare and, get our game face on for the next physical leg of the Hajj. So we shouldn't overlook this. In the tent, we have a lot of group seekers, we have programs, we have a lot of things that are happening and we are all perfecting our du'as because we know tomorrow is the day of Arafah. We've got basically blank checks. We're going to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're going to speak to Him on a deep level. So Mina is definitely just as important as the others. Of course, you could say it's a bit of a slower pace, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has planned it this way, and I think it's really, really much needed in this way.
And how much is this journey about the past, thinking about your life until this point in time, the things that were done correctly, things that were not done correctly? How much of this is about the past as you sit in Hajj, and how much of it is actually physically chalking out a master plan, so to speak, for the future, in terms of your priorities, in terms of your goals, in terms of the way you'd like to envision your life and the life of your family from this point on?
I think every bit is all encompassing because, when we're doing our umrah, when we did our tawaf, at points we thought about mistakes we had made in the past. We begged, we pleaded with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness when we saw the Kaaba for the first time because those du'as are extremely important. And moving forward, we also thought Is this how I want to live my life? Wouldn't I want to live it much better? Wouldn't I want to, embody what I'm doing right now, during the Hajj and Umrah and just be a better person? So I think in every little ritualistic aspect, we do what's expected, but we also link it back to holistically what we do every day, and we also looking forward and planning, for our futures, for the futures of our children. How can we make them better Muslims? How can we make their lives fruitful and make sure Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is happy with us all?
Just a bit from your professional background, Dr. Zubeida. We mentioned your experience in information technology, security, cyber governance, technologies. If there, in media coverage about this year's Hajj, a lot of focus again being on the heat on one level, climate change, and on the other level, speaking on the integration of artificial intelligence into so many processes related to the Hajj. Anything that really struck your curiosity when it came to how the Hajj is being run, the back end of the Hajj?
I think it's actually seamless, and I really see the value, and I appreciate the value of the technology within the processes, of Hajj and of traveling and of all of that. If you think about how pilgrims used to take the train before or the buses before, it took extremely long. We couldn't communicate with our families when we reached certain points. But alhamdulillah, today we've got Wi-Fi on the buses. We are constantly in communication. We've got apps that allow us to play on the go and to help us with every leg of the journey. So I think we must appreciate the value that the technology is bringing to us. And as long as technology is being used in a positive way, I can just see that the Hajj is going to improve, over and over as the years go on.
Dr. Zubaida, thank you profusely for speaking to us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow this day to be a day of real watering in terms of what Tarwiyah is all about, and for you and all fellow Hujjaj to be able to actualize the dreams and the aspirations of the Hajj when you reach out to the plains of Arafah tomorrow. Shukran Jadidan, thank you so much for speaking to us this afternoon on Radio Islam.
Thank you for having me. Take care.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Speaking to us from in between the tents of Mina this afternoon with all the buzz and all the beauty of